How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's a little late, isn't it? It's late, I know, but we got to do a post game. At the game, after the game, we're out there with the Thursday night football, watching all that. It was crazy. By the time we get home, it's late. But what a dub, man! I'm so happy the 49ers got a victory over the Giants Thursday night football, and we got so much to talk about, man. We got so much. 30-12, the 49ers defeated the Giants Thursday night football. They get their third straight win of the season to open the season. They've won like 13 straight regular season games. I don't know. Let's get all the stats out the way. Brock Purdy 8 straight regular season games. CMC 12 straight games with a touchdown. I mean, it was just fun, man. It was a fun, fun night. Brock Purdy just another efficient game. He had 300 over 300 yards passing. Nobody's talking about that. Like when people were saying, "Oh, Brock's terrible. He's not making passes." I remember the comments earlier in the game. And Brock Purdy had over 300 yards passing. I mean, he threw over 30, attempts, but still, they were throwing some nice passes. They were trying to run the ball, and the Giants don't have a good run um, defense. So the 49ers tried to run, and they did. They had CMC running well, and Elijah Mitchell ran well. I was happy to see Elijah Mitchell. But the 49ers consistently are putting up 30 points. You got to realize they're going to get the bugs worked out. They're going to get the kinks worked out of their offense. There was no Brandon Ayuk. And you could tell, I think that they really missed having him in terms of him being able to get open, his route running, his separation, and just the fact that he commands like double teams and it leaves other people open. But Brandon Ayuk not being there definitely had an impact on this offense. But players stepped up. Deebo Samuel today, man. This vintage Deebo. It's something I kept on telling you guys that I felt was coming this year. I really felt Deebo was going to be, turning to back to 2021. He had the great offseason. He trained hard. He came in great shape. And to see Deebo out there just dominating, man, it's fun to see Deebo the way he's at, this season. And he's just having fun. And, he's a captain. He's got to put the team on his back. And he's got a different mindset. 6 catches, 129 yards, and a touchdown. That's an efficient game for Deebo. That touchdown, that was about a 35-yard touchdown. Basically, the game dagger, the dagger. He got his wind knocked out of him like a couple plays later or before. He comes in and just a beautiful dart from Brock to Deebo. And I was like, oh, man, that was a beautiful touchdown, man. That was a beautiful touchdown. And Deebo just was on it tonight. There was that big play over the middle where they hit some. I think he hit him for like 30 or 40 yards. The yak play where they just couldn't tackle him. I remember I'm sitting there watching, and I'm going, okay, he's going to take him down here after 10 yards. And he kept fighting. He kept going. He kept fighting. He kept going. I was like, whoa, Deebo, man. Deebo Samuel is the guy. I'm telling you, he is back to where he was in 2021 and when he got that contract. And now when Brandon Ayuk comes back, like this offense, it's unbelievable, man. That was a fun performance by Deebo Samuel. He's just good, man. You watch Deebo Samuel, and it's just I don't people can't take him down. It's hard to tackle the guy. Um, he just goes out there and he does what he needs to do. He's a great football player. He's just a good football player. So I really felt Deebo was the guy that paced this team. And Brandon Ayuk wasn't there. He had to step up. And I think initially the offense kind of was kind of, now I wouldn't say lost, but they were trying to, figure things out without Brandon Ayuk, because he takes a lot of, uh, open field out there, and he gets double teams, and that opens it up for everybody else. Like in the red zone, they didn't really have the best abilities in the red zone, but thank God for Jake Moody. We'll talk about him. But in the red zone, 49ers just couldn't get the ball into it because I feel like with Brandon Ayuk not being there, it was harder for them to get guys to separate in a short, window. Brandon Ayuk, like Deebo said this offseason, he says he could separate in a phone booth. So Deebo had to kind of step in, but they just couldn't get open in that red zone. Then they tried to run and this and that. So shout out to Jake Moody, man. 3 field goals tonight, and he has not missed a field goal this whole season. No field goal missed, no PAT missed. After a shaky off season, and preseason. Everybody was writing him off, saying, go get Robbie Gould and this and that and the other. But he has hung tough, and Moody has been money, man. He's absolutely been money. You got to love Jake Moody, man. Fun to see him. Fun to see, him out there shining. And he wasn't the only Wolverine that shined. So we talked about Deebo Samuel kind of rescuing this offense. How about Ronnie Bell, man? How about Ronnie Bell? How about Ronnie Bell, man? Let's give it up to the young rookie. Warms my heart to see young players step up. 2 catches, 24 yards. He had a touchdown, his first career touchdown in the NFL, man. He had that nice little tip pass. That was a heads up play. And then he had the big play on special teams, just drove the guy down to the field. Shout out to Ronnie, man. That guy's he's a fun player, and he's going to be somebody special on this team. He is a Kyle Shanahan weapon through and through. That was a fun game for Ronnie Bell. That touchdown on the sideline, oh man, I had a good angle of it, and I was just so hyped after that touchdown. So fun to see. And George Kittle, he had a good game, just like I thought he would. Didn't get the touchdown. He had 7 catches for 90 yards. The George Kittle got a freaking black eye. Did you see that he had a black eye? We were there at the Thursday Night Football corner. We all huddled up there, and then we were like, "Is that a black eye on Kittle? Is that a black eye on Kittle?" And sure enough, there's a close up on George Kittle, and he had a black eye, dude. Crazy. But 7 catches for 90 yards, I'll take that. I wish he would have got the tutty, but it is what it is. I just wish he would have got it for my prediction, because I was pretty spot on with a lot today. 33-13, I thought. It was a 30-12, so I was close on that. I said Nick Bosa would get a sack. He did. Hargrave got a sack. He did. Javon Kinlaw was getting in there. The defensive line, they had 5 guys on the front line. They were getting in. Armstead and Bosa were getting in there. Who else was playing good tonight? Fred Warner, of course. Talanoa Hufanga got the pick like I thought he would. So that was nice to see. Hufanga's second pick of the season. That guy's just a straight dog, man. And, the fun thing is, this weekend, the 49ers, there was going to be no pressure on them. They get to relax. They get to, heal up from all these games. They didn't leave with any injuries. So this was a good win in many ways. Not just winning the game, but winning the fact that there's no injuries. BA gets a couple more days to rest that shoulder, and he'll be ready to go for Arizona, man. I can't wait. This was a good win. 3-0. You're undefeated heading into another home game. The home opener was just fun. The crowd was rocking. Yeah, shout out to Bosa. Everybody's hyped in the chat for Nick Bosa. Definitely was fun to see Nick Bosa go out there and just, have a solid game tonight. He needed that. He needed to get that 1 sack just out of the way, because there was just so much pressure. And when he got that sack, I mean, the crowd went absolutely nuts, man. And the fans love Bosa. When he came out, you guys saw the video. I posted the video of when they were coming out the tunnel. I mean, Nick Bosa got such a loud ovation. Like Fred Warner and him, the last 2. I think they should have kept Bosa for the last, because, I mean, Nick Bosa's cheers were so loud. You couldn't even hear them announce Fred Warner. Obviously, the crowd was still going crazy because Warner came out. But, man, Nick Bosa had the crowd in the palm of his hands. He had the crowd in a chokehold, man. You got to love that shit. Nick Bosa, man. How about Nicky B, man? That guy's a dog. And Javon Hargrave, every game I see this guy, he's just collapsing the middle. The sack he had, he got in there so fast, man. So fast. Nathan says this should have been a safety. Absolutely, Nathan. I think that should have been a safety that Nick Bosa had, but the NFL was dogging us on that one. I don't know. It is what it is. At the end of the day, they get the dub. Again, I'm just happy that they got this win, and it was a short turnaround. It's a crunch type game to prepare for. And the fact the 49ers came out and won, I saw so many comments and, what are they doing? This and that. The Giants are a good team. They went to the playoffs last year. Brian Daboll's a good coach. They were going to play their ass off. Backs against the wall. They came out fighting, man. And I think the Niners just know they knew they had to escape this game and not overwork themselves. And they got out of this game, and I think they accomplished everything they needed to do. They won the game. They got Elijah Mitchell some carries. Ronnie Bell played well. The defensive line was playing pretty good. They got an interception, and they had no injuries. So, honestly, 30 points for the 3rd straight time. I can't find nothing to complain about on this game. Maybe the offensive line needs to work a little bit better on the right side, but they'll continue to get better. Penalties maybe on the defensive side of the thing, with the secondary, Diamond Lenore and a couple of or penalties, tick-tacky penalties, got to cut down on those. But overall, this was a very good game for the 49ers. I think Kyle did a good job. I think he was a little, I wouldn't say too conservative, but he did kind of dial up a lot of runs, and then he let Purdy toss it, over 30 times. So I feel like it was just one of those games where Kyle was just trying to chill and play it safe and not do anything too much. Like they were just playing it safe. I don't think he wanted to get anybody hurt. He already had Brandon Ayuk nursing the shoulder injury, and I felt like he did a good job of keeping everybody safe, and they got out with the win without any injury. So to me, that's a huge dub, man. Yeah. Randy says Bell played better than well, tackling fools. So yeah, no, but Ronnie Bell, man, he had a game. That was like the Ronnie Bell game. The first half, he had the big, play on special teams. Just tackled the crap out of the guy. 2 big catches, the touchdown, and then the heads up play on the tip. I mean, this guy, man, he's a heady player. He's a good player. Michigan, they trained him well, and he was good in college. And I remember when the 49ers drafted him, I was hyped because I remember how good he was in college. And he's like the perfect player for Kyle Shanahan. And as a receiver, he blocks good. He does the little things, the nuances. And Kyle wants those little nuance type guys. That's what he wants. He wants those guys that are going to go out there and, do the small things, block, and not really have to go out there and get 100 yards. He doesn't need to be a flashy guy. He's gonna be like that dog, like Jawan Jennings, man. They're gonna sacrifice stats to help the team in the grand aspect of everything. So, yeah, Nathan, that catch was clutch. Matthew says we need not. What was he say? He says we need not to get ahead of ourselves and focus on the Cardinals because they always play us tougher than they think. Yeah, no, that's a great comment right there, Matthew. As much as I want to say, so much about playing the Cards and that stuff, like it's gonna be easy dub. It's a division game. No game is easy in the NFL. Cardinals always play us tough, no matter what. No matter what. I remember a couple years back, Colt McCoy, right? So you can't take them lightly. It is another pro football team. So you're right. We got to focus up. We can't overlook them. And the thing that scares me is, okay, the 49ers after the Cardinals are going to be playing Dallas. So you can't be overlooking ahead. You can't look ahead. This is a trap game. That's what this is. Arizona is a trap game. Bottom line, it's a trap game. It's a trap game. TRAP trap game. Because if the 49ers overlook the Cardinals and think about the Cowboys, you're going to lose the game next week. And you don't want that to happen. That's not what you need to do. Division games are very tough. They're always tough. That's true, Jeremiah. At least Murray won't be playing. Yeah. Debbie says Kyle is very detail oriented and wants his players to be too. Yeah, I think he wants to just so many details in a game. How he, game plans and all these certain installments. He's very, meticulous, and I think he wants that out of his players. Absolutely. Oh man. Oh, sorry, tired. But let's see. Any questions in there? Anybody I forgot to include in giving them their flowers? Jake Moody again. Talanoa Hufanga, a solid game again. This D line was nice. Fred Warner, obviously. Fred Warner, he's a beast. You got my man Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy. Man, Brock Purdy played good. 310 yards today passing. That was a good game from Brock Purdy, man. And 8 straight wins in the regular season. I love Brock, man. I love Brock. He's it. And people are gonna doubt him. Oh yeah, this and that. Brock Purdy wins games, and that's what I like. Hargrave was dope. Yeah, Wishnowski with the punts. He had some nice punts, right? I mean, just a good performance on so many sides of the thing. Again, I think the one area that we can sit here and maybe criticize is the offensive line. They just look like they gave Purdy a lot of pressure, but he was getting the ball out of his hands very quick, like under 2.5 seconds. It was crazy how quick he was getting rid of the ball. Brock Purdy, man, that was the key, was getting rid of the ball. Just I was like, holy smokes, man. And there was a lot of pressure. on this game. And I think because he was able to, do that tonight, it was key. So they blitzed Brock Purdy on 33. This is it. Check the stat from Next Gen Stats. A sweet tea, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It's not beer. I had a beer at the game. This is not sweet tea. Or this is sweet tea. It's not the beer. But so the Giants blitzed Brock Purdy on 33 of his 39 dropbacks on 84.6%, the highest blitz rate in the game, right? And it says, likewise, Purdy averaged the fastest time to throw of his career, the fastest he's got the ball out of his hands, 2.34 seconds. Purdy versus the blitz, man. Look at Purdy versus the blitz, 20 for 31 for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. Holy crap, man. He was getting rid of the ball so quick. 2.34 seconds? Shit, dude. The blitz was coming, and he was getting rid of the ball. Shout out to Brock, man. Yeah, Matthew says Trent's about to get fined. Oh, boy. Did you see that? He just... Trent boxes in the offseason. Why are you going to mess with him? He don't play games. That was crazy. Oh, man. Brock, can you believe that? He got rid of the ball in 2.34 seconds. What a dog, man. I love Brock Purdy. I tell you, man, people just don't give him enough credit. They say he doesn't do enough. He doesn't throw the ball deep, this and that. Hey, that deep pass to Deebo Samuel. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that deep pass to Deebo Samuel, huh? A dot, man. I almost lost my mind when he threw that touchdown. What's up, Rashad? He says another 30-piece. Another 30-piece, man. It's nice. 30 points, 3 straight games. This team just drops 30 points like it's easy. You remember when it was a struggle for this team to get like 13 to 20? You remember that? Like, I'm sure, like, that's what I was irritated with. Oh, well, not necessarily irritated, but I saw a lot of comments of going, oh, the offense was stale. It was a boring game. They didn't do this, that. A lot of criticism that they didn't, play good enough, or the offense wasn't good enough. 30 points. Do you know how hard it was to score 30 points before this offense was what it was, like it is now? 30 points seemed like a dream a couple years back. Are you kidding me? That touchdown to Deebo, like, if no disrespect to Jimmy, I like Jimmy, but if he would have danced in the pocket, he would have had happy feet. He would have tried to put everything in it to throw that ball to Deebo, and he probably wouldn't have hit it. Did Brock Purdy drop back, smooth, scanned the field, saw Deebo, and just perfect placement, dot, and Deebo got the touchdown. Like, that was a beautiful pass, man. Deep pass, and you got to remember, Brock Purdy's coming off a torn UCL, and he nailed that pass, man. I'm having so much fun watching this offense, and they score 30 points. I love it, and it was a nice performance. Maybe just because I was at the game, like you just feel so much different. I mean, people say, "Oh, the game was boring." Yeah, maybe on TV, but when you're at the game, I mean, the atmosphere is electric. Shout out to the faithful fans, the Niner Empire. Levi Stadium was rocking, and they made me feel good. Niner fans in attendance are always so nice to me, and I love them. They're always coming up to me and this and that, and offering me stuff. I honestly don't really feel like I have to pay for much. I feel bad sometimes, but they gave me a beer. They gave me some free food at the tailgate. I don't have to really pay much. I honestly, only thing I paid for tonight was the game ticket. So everything else was, I took the VTA. I didn't park. I drove back home, or I got the VTA back home. I got food all day served to me, and you can't beat that. So shout out to the faithful. Happy stuff, man. Matthew says, what is my take on the snaps for McCaffrey? Yeah, let's talk about McCaffrey. I think today was a better. I mean, earlier those first 2 games they were running him down to the bone, man, down to the bone. And Kyle said the other day, they have to get Elijah Mitchell involved a little bit more, and I think they did a good job of doing that. They got Elijah Mitchell mixed in. I think today was a good pace. I think obviously, I mean, it's hard not to give the ball to Christian McCaffrey. He's so good, man. You put the ball in his hands, and he's just going to explode. He's fast. He could move the ball in space. He has good vision, all that stuff. Christian McCaffrey is so good. So it's hard not to give him any PT. But Elijah Mitchell tonight proved that he needs more time, and he can really help Christian McCaffrey. So I think tonight was a perfect, um, you know, dose of Elijah and Christian McCaffrey. I think that was a good way to feature them both. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is so good. Like, you don't want to not give him the ball, but you want to give him the ball at least maybe 17 times. I think 17 is a good number. You put the ball in his hand, great things can happen. Just like Debo, you put the ball in Debo's hands, he's probably going to get a big play. So um, I was happy with the usage tonight. So I wasn't too mad about that. I think that was a good job. I think they did a good job overall. I mean, yeah, I think Kyle wanted to run the ball. I think he wanted to play, to his strengths, and I honestly think that he scripted it good, and he just did a good job in the sense of keeping his players safe. I don't think it was too crazy. I know a lot of people were sketchy on the play calling and stuff, but I didn't see it that bad. I thought it was a good game. I mean, again, I knew the Giants were going to be tough. I knew they were going to come out hard nosed. They got some players. They made it to the playoffs for some reason last year, so it's not like they're garbage water. So and they got a good coach. They were missing a lot of stars, so you could tell they were getting tired towards the end. Some of their offensive linemen was wearing down, and they just didn't have enough push to get up to the Niners. In the end, Niners just ended up having too much power. So George said tonight's offense went off without our number one BA. Still putting up 30. I mean, you still put up 30. That's huge. And again, the offense was a little weird because they were trying to incorporate, Debo in different route sets, and they were trying to run and trying to get Ronnie Bell in there. He hasn't really played with this first team offense, so Ronnie was trying to get up to speed with this team, and Juwan Jennings was out there. But when Brandon Ayuk's there, I feel like he has such good chemistry with Brock, and Brock's looking for Ayuk. I think he's looking for Ayuk, and now it forced other guys to be wide receivers, if that makes sense. Like, it forced Debo to go out there and have to run the route tree instead of just running the slant and go, or the screen pass. He had to run, more intermediate routes, more intricate routes, and that forced those guys to do it. And it forced George Kittle to take a bigger role. He did good, 7 catches, 90 yards. But again, I feel like the offense really had to work a little harder because they didn't have Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk opens it up for everybody, man. He's so good. He takes 2 defenders sometimes. Every time he runs a route, he's open. Like, Brandon Ayuk and and Brock Purdy have a good mix together. So it does change the dynamic a little bit. But I think we definitely played good today. I think it was a great game overall, considering the fact that it was a short turnaround, man. Sunday to Thursday, not a lot of time to prepare. And you drop 30 points, you just can't be mad with that. So yeah, George, he says when BA is there, he is always open. This is like a security blanket. Yeah, Hobby is 100%. He's definitely like the security blanket, and I feel like Brock feels safe going there. And you need a guy like that. You need that security blanket. Some guys, every good quarterback always has that like go-to guy, that security, like the Chiefs, right? If they don't have Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, he's screwed because nobody else can really catch the ball. But he knows if pressure cooker situation, I gotta go to Brandon Ayuk and Mahomes. I gotta go to Kelce. So yeah, good point on that one. Oh man, but it was a good game, and again, 49ers defense. I think they made good adjustments in the second half, and that's what really changed it. It wouldn't allow the Giants to score. I mean, I know they moved the ball here and there, but overall, the Niners were able to get home. They were able to get the turnovers. They were able to force Danny Dimes to make mistakes and errant passes. And he had some moments with his mobility. I'll give him that. But overall, the 49ers defense were just too in their face. I mean, if there wasn't for some penalties, I don't even think the Giants would have even scored a touchdown, honestly. To be honest with you. So. George says, does Brandon Ayuk play against Arizona? I think he'll play for Arizona. I think he could have played today, but again, they wanted to be safe, err on the side of caution. They get a couple of days this weekend to rest, and they'll be back to practice next week. So I think Brandon Ayuk will be back for Arizona, but we'll see. We'll see how how they want to handle this. But I definitely think Ayuk will be back, in my opinion. So. Nathan says defense got interceptions the past 3 games. They're ball hawks, man. They're opportunistic. They're snagging the ball. Talanoa Hufanga has 2 this season, man. I'm telling you, This team is very, very balanced on both sides of the ball. They got players that can do everything on both sides. This is a special team. It's a great win, man. It's a very, very, very impressive win to me. Again, a lot of people are going to tell you that it wasn't a good win or whatever, or they're just not impressed, or it could have been better. Like you probably have Dallas fans that are going to say, "Oh, you didn't put 40 points like us." Again, short turnaround. It's hard to prepare for these games. Thursday night football, not a lot to couldn't really prepare much for them. We didn't have Brandon Ayuk, and he still put up 30 points. 30 points is solid to me. Again, that's the way I look at it. I see any other questions, comments, concerns. Probably gonna call it a night. It's getting late. Gotta get some sleep and get to work tomorrow. But tomorrow, Victory Month, 13 minutes away from Victory Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It is officially going to be Victory Friday. It was a great win. Niner fans packed Levi Stadium. Home opener was a success. Niners are 3-0. Can't beat that. I mean, you really can't beat that. It's 3-0, baby. You got to love it. Niners win. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I love you. Make sure you hit that like button, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. Niners get the dub. Undefeated on the season. They are 3-0. Let's go. Niners.